asked for more, ye shall receive. That's right, we have here the Neoflesh cult. That sounds terrifying and really weird, and I guess it is really weird. It's scary robots. AI trying to take over the world. Anyway, howdy and welcome back. I'm so glad to have you. This is Chaos. If you are new and wondering what on earth is happening and how did you land here, I can't help you other than you're probably a geek of some sort. But what we are looking at are expansions to Nemesis Retaliation. If you're new to that whole series, Nemesis Retaliation is the third and final installment of the Nemesis trilogy, which is a cinematic, somebody texted me, I better silence that, cinematic tabletop gaming experience based on the Alien franchise. I have videos for each of the games, including the newest installment, Retaliation. I'll put a card somewhere up above my head or beside my head, wherever the YouTube overlords are going to put the cards. Speaking of AI taking over the world, quick rundown of the game in Nemesis. Any of the games, you are playing as either a crew member or a highly trained military operative that is in a ship or a facility that is being taken over by these alien creatures called intruders that want to kill you. You explore scary places, corridors, and rooms, fighting to survive, trying to avoid the intruders, trying to complete some kind of crazy secret objective that might be for good or for bad, and also possibly working cooperatively with the other players in the game or possibly working against each other because you might have a hidden traitor or more. You might all be hidden traitors. No one knows. Bottom of the line is it's a game where you're probably going to die. And if you don't, you'll never stop talking about it. Also, Retaliation. Don't worry, I know this is Neoflesh cult. It all ties together. Retaliation, if you're new to any of this, is a crowd-funded game. Many board games come to life through crowdfunding. This is being crowdfunded through a site called gamefound.com. Board gamers, we're all very familiar with it now. If you're interested in what you see here or in any of the other Nemesis videos, you can go to the GameFound page. I put a link in the description and in the pinned comment. And when this video launches, hopefully, you'll still be able to back the game in order to receive it when it ships. But please don't panic. If that is not for you or that deadline is passed, this is coming to retail. Get it at retail. My blue light just went out. That's very strange. You don't have to turn on the blue light. Yes, you do. Welcome back. I like my blue light. If none of it interests you, just hang out because it's entertaining and fun. Thank you. So now the expansions. The reason I mentioned all that about Retaliation is these are expansions that we're looking at today or add-ons that are dependent on owning the base game Retaliation. So you must own that if you want to play with these components. Also, really quick, do you like this face? I'm sorry. Do you like this game? Would you like to see more? Like, subscribe, explore the table. Yes, if you watch Grinding Gears, I stole that from them and now I'm crediting them. It's a form of honor and respect. All right, let's go to the expansion prototypes that I have. So again, these are all prototypes of what is available for crowdfunding right now on GameFound. I've got the Neoflesh Cult expansion. That sounds so bad and so scary, but just stay with me. It's robots. It's scary robots. I've also got the Xyrian expansion, Xyrian, Xyrian, whatever. You call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it the Xyrian expansion because that's what I've been calling it. It's probably Xyrian. You know what? Let's try Xyrian. We're going to try Xyrian for now. I've got some acrylic tokens for Nemesis and for Lockdown. I am so sorry. I do not have prototype tokens for Retaliation, the acrylic tokens add-ons. I don't have them. Don't ask me. I don't have them. Don't ask me. Stop asking me. And we're back. Also, the characters expansion and the special forces expansion, some extra items, cards, the medical support expansion. We'll look at all of it. Let's start with Neoflesh Cult. That is so scary sounding. Why did they have to add just call them AI? The AI bidders instead of the arbiters, the AI bidders. Okay, first of all, the story behind the Neoflesh Cult there. So you are still operatives entering a facility to complete a mission. However, in this case, there were intruders in this place, but an AI experiment has gone terribly wrong. And the lead scientist has apparently offered up like his body to be part of this body of a giant mother brain AI robot thing that has to feed on humans. Played Horizon Dawn, anybody? In order to fuel itself and get smarter and bigger and better. So it's kind of trying to take over humanity, starting in this one facility. So you are going in to try to shut this AI down. Well, that AI protects itself with scary robots that go around and try to kill you or incorporate you into their system. Well, maybe not you, maybe a friend. I don't know. Janice has been getting on my nerves. No, she doesn't. Well, that's for a different day. Even though you are only playing against the Neoflesh cult scary robots, the intruders still had a presence here. So there are still eggs in the nest, and you still can get contaminated because pretty much everything came in contact with them. That means you get to use all the mission and objective cards from the Nemesis Retaliation base game. Let's take a look at all the cards. You're going to have your help card. Each player has one with the updated player phase. And, of course, an updated pass. And yes, it is slightly different. We're going to go over it. Just calm down and hang in there. You're going to have a Neoflesh event deck, which runs different. Don't worry. We're covering that too. You're also going to have the Neoflesh attack deck. Why not? Bad things happen when they hit you. You also get, now these are totally unique to the Neoflesh cult expansion. And these are the skill cards. And there are, as you can see, 6 of them with 2 sides. We're going to go into these in detail. Don't worry about it. But you got your 4 adults. That's right. There's not just one type of adult. There are now 4 types of adult intruders. Then you're going to have cultists, which is, they're just creepy and they're their own thing, whatever. And twitchlings, which are the equivalent of larvae. We're going to talk about them. Each one of these has an inactive side as well. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Hang in there. Neoflesh also has its own exploration deck that looks the same as the other exploration cards, but there are some changes, like they can add a Neoflesh cultist, which is scary. Where are you anyway? There's John. Boy, John, you just do not look like you did last year. I tell you, I don't think it was a good choice. I don't. That doesn't go with your eyes. And also, the Queen Health, or the Mother Brain, has their own deck as well, just as terrible as the Intruders. Let's take a look at, oh my wow, tokens. So many tokens, including, why not, bodies. That's right, let's introduce some bodies. These are your body tokens, 2-sided. Don't worry, you're going to see how those are used. And then, of course, we've got our bag development tokens. We've got our twitchlings. You'll see they're 2-sided. Then we've got our standees or models based on what you get. Again, this is a prototype. This is not the complete version. This is more to show you the mechanics. But here's what we have so far. So get out of here. We've got a queen. I'm not going to show you every single one, but pretty sweet. There is the queen there. There is the cultist, scary person, right? Actually, here's a better one. Nope. There are 2 different types, I swear. Yeah, there are. Okay, there we go. So your different cultist types. Then what do we have? We have 2 different types of twitchlings. We're going to take both of you out and take a look. You got a little creeper there and a little creeper there. Dorbs. And then we've got our slasher right there. Oh, he just can't wait to give you a good little swat, basically. And then this one's going to blow your mind. We've got the little mine thing. What are you called? You're an exploder. I can't remember what you're called off the top of my head. And then we got the scorpion, which is actually like a fire shooter thing. It's a crawl mine. That's a crawl mine. Yeah, and this is a fire spitter. There we go. Spitting fire. A little spitting image of your daddy. And then this iron tank beetle. I can't remember what you're called offhand, but yes, there you are. You're the tank. Those are the 4 different types of adults. All the figures right there. Yes, the twitchlings have 2 models. It's just for variety. It doesn't make a difference which one you use. Then we've got our main components. We've got the Neoflesh Queen's Hits board and the dead Neoflesh cultists. These sound so creepy. I can't get over it. Anyway, those are going to go somewhere above the queen. It looks like in the final version they're going to match together like puzzle pieces. Can't guarantee that, but that looks like the plan. And it also comes with its own help sheet here for when the queen is off the map. This is how you resolve noise and bag development. When the queen is on the map, life gets worse. Yay! All right, for setup, you set up most of the game in the exact same way. You shuffle up your attack deck, your exploration, and your event deck and put them wherever you choose to put them on the board. You're going to shuffle up your Queen's Health deck and put it in the Queen's Health cards section, just like in the base game. You're going to divide your tokens by type. You're going to have one blank. This is very similar to the base game. You're going to have your 3 Mother Brains, your Twitchlings, and your Fire Spitters. You start out the game with your bag. You put in a blank token. You put in a certain amount of Twitchlings and a certain amount of adults. You do not start the game with a queen token in the bag. You know what else we love? Skill cards. That's right. So you're actually going to place these in a certain order. Some of them, again, this is a prototype, will have a number, I believe, in the top right that shows the priority. So you would put them in that priority order. Not all of the cards have it, so this is not the proper order, but you get the point. You would put them like this, and this is used for tiebreakers, basically. And they all start active side up. Now you're going to place your dead Neoflesh cultists. It has to be, this isn't normal. Yeah, anyway, it goes above your board. It goes at the top of the board, wherever the slot's going to be. And at some point, when you deactivate these crazy folk, then, they go there and cover the spot. And that's a good thing. But at the beginning of the game, it's empty. Then you're going to take your 3 Mother Brain tokens, but wait, Mike, those don't fit. That's not the right shape. That's correct. It's supposed to be that way. Stay with me and stop rebelling. Right side up. Good grief. And what about those body tokens? They are going to go on the indicated places. It's in the rules. The indicated places on the board is probably 8, 11, and 14. I could be wrong, but it sounds about right. But wait, those don't fit the shape. It's okay. Calm down. I got you, boo. Now that setup's done, let's look at how the Intruders phase plays out. First thing you might notice is that the Intruders burning doesn't happen. That's right. They are robots, so they are not damaged by fire. Why don't they melt? No one knows. So they do not take damage from fire. Skip that phase. Then comes the Twitchling activations. That is unique to the Neoflesh expansion. During the Twitchlings activation, every Twitchling is going to move toward the nearest unexplored corridor. So any corridor that leads to nothing, right? Okay, so they're going to move toward it. 1. Boom. Should they move off the map, congratulations, things are going to get worse. Remember those body tokens? Yeah, whenever a Twitchling goes off the map, they drag those bodies a little bit closer to the Mother Brain. In other words, they all go up 1 round number. Speaking of dead bodies, when your round marker, yes, that's an egg. Yes, I left the round marker in the kitchen. I'm not moving. So this is a round marker. When it reaches a body, that body is absorbed by the Mother Brain. Take that beautiful body, put it on the Neoflesh Queen's hit space, and flip it over. See, now it matches the shape. It all makes sense. Now it's a 0 and a 0. Do you know what that means? Oh, this is great. You're going to love this. You are going to love this. What that means is that now adds 2 more hit points to the Queen's hit points. Isn't that great? We love it. Then there's that Mother Brain token that got kicked off the spot. Put it in the bag. The Queen is now in play. If you draw that token, the Queen comes out on the board. Something worth noting, once the Queen token is in that bag, as long as the Queen is alive, it stays in there for the rest of the game. That was so much fun that we should go down to the event phase. This plays out just like in the base game, just with a different deck of cards. So flip that baby over, and you are going to work your way from top to bottom. So how does this work? Well, first of all is the Intruder movement. This does not include the Twitchlings. The Twitchlings have their own special phase that they already did, so they don't move here, just the Intruders. But there's something different about it. See, it says, all Intruders in corridors with gear icon move. Well, what on earth is that? Well, gear icon, well, that's Mr. Boom Boom here. And that means that all corridors with Mr. Boom Boom in it get to move, including any other Intruders with Mr. Boom Boom. So, whee! Oh. It might be a different type of adult, but you get the point. The second part always has to do with how many of those creepy cultist machine dudes are still alive. Right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alive. Isn't that great? If this were here, there would only be 4 alive. Stay up. Then you resolve according to how many are still living. And of course, the final part, you just apply the text. Bag development and cleanup play exactly the same as the base game, with your rules on what to do based on what token you draw. You'll notice that this expansion focuses a lot on the twitchlings, and it doesn't add a lot of adults to the bag. It adds a lot of twitchlings to the bag, and the twitchlings make the queen stronger. So really, you're racing against time to keep the queen from getting too strong. And once the queen is out, you're in trouble. All right, with the main rules, basically just the golden rule about movement. The largest intruder, if they ever have to move, and you can only move one into a room, like for an attack, the largest intruder is the one that moves. Well, what happens in case, in this case, okay, we're not moving the twitchling. Sure. But these two are just about the same size. They're both adults. So which one moves? That's where the skill card order comes into play. So the slasher would move first. We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that. Oh, fire spitter. So the fire spitter is the one that would move. Again, this might be the wrong order. You'll get the point. The skill cards all start active. Whenever you remove, deactivate, get rid of one of these creepy fellas here, you get to inactivate one of these by flipping it over. Once it's flipped over, it has one less ability it gets to use when it attacks. Let's go in order. So we're going to start with the smallest to the tallest. We're starting with the adorable little twitchlings, right? So the twitchlings are the larva equivalent. There is a slight difference, though. When a twitchling attacks you, you receive a contamination card. They are not actually larvae, so they never go on your character board, unlike the base game. Also, as mentioned before, they only move during the twitchling activation phase. And if the skill card is active, congratulations, they don't only have 1 health, like would be normal for a larvae. Instead, twitchlings in rooms are killed like adult intruders. That's right. They might take multiple hits. If you flip it over, it inactivates that. All right, let's take a look at Johnny Mnemonic here. That's right, our cultists. These are lots of fun. So these get placed in rooms. They only get placed by exploration cards. I've only seen them in rooms with computers. So do I have a computer somewhere around here? I sure do. No, I don't. We're going to pretend like we do. So we're going to pretend there was a computer icon. And this would say to place it in there. Okay, we have a cultist in the computer room. Oh dear. They are not actually intruders though. So if I am in a room with just a cultist, I am not in combat. They do not attack me. However, I can choose to attack them. Every time that I place a hit, which I've got them. I've got these markers just for this. There we go. I place a hit. I have to roll for noise, whether they were eliminated or not. Once they're eliminated, put them on their tile and rejoice. Then choose a skill card to inactivate by flipping it over. By the way, that noise roll thing, that's their skill. So if you flip their card over, you don't have to do a noise roll every time you attack them. Then we have our 4 adult intruder Neoflesh things, right? They get placed during events, during bag development, and also maybe during exploration. Maybe, I don't remember. Oh yeah, during exploration, because sometimes you have to resolve noise rolls and those crises hazard things. That one right there, always bad. Anyway, even though they are all adults, they have special rules. When a crawl mine skill card is active, they like to explode. So whenever they are killed in a room, not in a corridor, only in a room, you have to draw 3 attack cards. If any of those say boom, please don't. Thank goodness they don't. If it said boom at the top, we would have to resolve it. And I'm just going to tell you now, it's very bad. You will die. Maybe not, but probably. If not, you just get to discard those 3 attack cards. Goodbye. Slashers. We love these little fellas. If they attack you and do any damage, be it a serious injury or just your wound goes up, whatever, guess what? They get to attack 2 times. That's right, but never more than twice. There are many supplementary questions that might come about this, so please put those in the comments and I will answer them as they come. And then there were 2. Let's go to the fire spitter. Fire spitter is like the ranged dude, and these are a pain because if you shoot them in a corridor, where's my corridor? Right there. If they're in a corridor and I'm in a room, you know what? Let's just set this whole thing up. Let's do this all proper like. Go in the hole. There we go. All right. I'm going to shoot you in the corridor. Too bad. You have to take 1 damage before you shoot them. If that kills you, too bad. The shot doesn't go off. If it doesn't, then you get to do your burst and bye-bye. Just like in the base game, all adult intruders have 1 health unless, don't we love that? Unless the ironclad skill is active. And that's 1 skill when in a corridor. Of course, when they're in a room, it follows the same rules as the Retaliation base game. Ironclad is all kinds of cool, this guy. So he's the tank protecting all the other little machine, buddies around it. So whenever you attack a corridor that has an ironclad, their skill makes it so that you must target them. Not only that, but when they are in a corridor, they have 2 health. When they are in a room and you beat it, it doesn't die. No, instead it is repelled to a corridor. If it's inactive, just forget about all that nonsense. Now the intruder attack cards. Whenever they attack, you flip 1 over. It's wonderful. Read the top just for fun, and then you will apply the first one that applies. So if you are, in this case, being attacked by a tank, scary dude, then you apply this line. If you're being attacked by the queen, you're dead, just accept it or apply that line. And you'll see she has these special icons right here. Those refer to how many absorbed bodies she has. So for each absorbed body she has, it makes this effect worse. If neither of those apply, you always apply the bottom row. For our tokens, we've got this lovely cheat sheet here that we don't really have to worry too much about. There are 2 sides to each of these tokens. So when you resolve in a room and you draw from the bag, you go by the side that has the name of the thingy on it, right? The name in the picture, and you place that name and thingy in your room, in this case, a fire spitter. If that was in a corridor, I would look at the other side and I would place 1 for each symbol. In this case, I would place 1 of the scary tanks and 1 of the scary sniper insect, scorpion, fire spitter things. And the tanks are called ironclad, I know. And then, of course, bag development usually adds twitchlings or makes it, closer to getting a queen, and then blank adds adults. Neoflesh cult, old news, get out of here. It's time for the Xyrians. The Xyrians are basically, they're based on Predator, I'm assuming. So it's the alien versus Predator thing. They're the Predator experience within the Nemesis world. They are these highly intelligent alien life form culture world things that go around, and we don't know what their objective is. Are they gathering information? Are they hunting? We don't know. But we do know this, they're invisible. They're cloaked and heavily armed with super advanced weaponry. And thankfully, thank goodness, they decided to bless us with their presence in an already very difficult situation. Are they going to help you? Are they going to hurt you? They're probably going to do both. Isn't that what Dad used to say? I hurt you because I love you. I'm not sure that's a wise way to live. Anyway, what you should know is these things can add major swing to the game. So you include them because you want that experience. They might appear, they might not appear. They might be helpful to just one player. They might be helpful to everybody. They might decimate the whole board before you can even figure out what on earth just happened. Extreme levels of variability if you include the Xyrians. Xyrians. Let's look through the materials. So we have our Xyrian activation cards. It's going to tell them what to do and when to do it. We're going to cover it, don't you worry. And there are 3 Xyrian exploration cards that will be shuffled into the normal exploration deck every game. Then we have 3 Xyrian event cards, but only one of them is randomly pulled out and shuffled into the normal event deck. So you may get to it, you may not. We've got a Xyrians, I can't decide what on earth it is. The Xyrians phase card for once the Xyrians are on the board. It tells you what to do. We love that. Then we've got status cards. Doesn't that sound like fun? I'll bet you they're beneficial statuses. They sure aren't. No, these are terrible things that can happen to you. And then there's allegiance. That's right. You can make some kind of like allyship thing with them to a gained allegiance. There are some benefits, and it's also not always guaranteed to be great. Then we've got the Xyrian items, the Xyrian, whatever. Welcome to the Shire, Frodo. And each one of these is a special item that each one of the Xyrians is carrying. And when you beat them, you get to claim one of those. You'll see that they are all different types of armor. You've got the available allegiance token, which will be placed in a room somewhere during an event or exploration, maybe. Then there are the Xyrian injury tokens, and on the flip side, it says item. We also have our little token for bag development. There's only one Xyrian token. And then, of course, we have our trace markers. There are 3 of them in the game. Last but not least, our beautiful Xyrian models. Again, all of these are prototypes. They are not complete, but I still think quite lovely. Setup for the game is largely the same, except just as mentioned, shuffle one of these 3 events into your event deck. Then shuffle all 3 of your exploration cards into your exploration deck. And that exploration deck is going to be whether you're playing with the Neoflesh or with the Sangrias, the Sangravores. There we go. They like to drink sangria or the base game. Xyrians are compatible with all. Place the phase card near your event deck just as a reminder, but right now it's face down. Place the allegiance so that it's available anywhere on the board or around the board. Put it around the board. That makes more sense. Shuffle up your Xyrian activation cards and put them next to your Intruder attack cards. Shuffle up your 3 Xyrian status and put it near your Serious Wound deck. Put your items face down, shuffled up somewhere near your items. Place your Xyrian bag development token outside the bag. Put your Xyrian injury tokens, whatever, near your red markers or something. I don't care. And put these somewhere. We love that. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. There's a help card too. Isn't that great? Put that where you can read it. The Xyrians are stealthy and invisible. So the way the game plays out is, first of all, as you explore, you may draw a Xyrian exploration, which is going to place a trace token in a room. It's also going to place that Xyrian token into the bag for bag development. When that token, or if that token is drawn, you then place one of the Xyrians or all of the Xyrians everywhere that there is a trace token. Once they are on the board, the game changes. We now have a Xyrians phase that plays out before an event phase where you flip over, that's right, a Xyrian activation, and they do things like move and attack you and attack intruders and just do bad things. Or maybe good things. Attack Xyrians to injure them. Once they are injured, you can defeat them. Once they are defeated, they drop their item. Pick up their item, and you get something shiny and fancy to help you for the rest of the game. Or you may choose instead to make some kind of an alliance with them. They might choose to help you, or they might just affect you with some terrible status. All right, so to recap that, the Xyrian phase, once they are on the board, this happens before every event phase. You simply read and resolve the text. Then go through your event phase as normal. All right, so some general rules about these scary dudes. They only exist in rooms because they are too high class for these dingy corridors. That's right. So when they spawn in a room. When they move to a room. They are invisible, so intruders ignore them. From a player's standpoint, they are intruders. However, with some caveats, if you are in the room with just one of the Xyrians, you are not in combat. However, you can choose to attack them if you like. And guess what? During the Xyrian activation phase, they may choose to attack you too, but maybe not. Maybe they'll help you and get rid of a bunch of intruders. I just dropped my fire marker. They are not affected by game event effects like fires. Fires don't damage them because they're invisible. And we all know invisible things are not flammable, I guess. Unless you're oxygen. I'm pretty sure oxygen is flammable. And what about wind? I'm interested. Also, there are only 3. So when one of them dies, they're gone from the game forever, never to come back. All right, exploration cards and trace tokens. Whenever one of these gets flipped over during an exploration phase, it is going to have you place a trace token and also place the Xyrian token into the Intruder's bag. Then you remove that exploration card from the game. It's gone forever. There are only 3 trace tokens. You can't interact with these. It just lets you know that there's a Xyrian somewhere around there, and that's one of the places they will spawn. Then, of course, the Xyrian token, whenever it is drawn, several things happen. You resolve a Xyrian activation, and you will place a Xyrian on every one of the trace tokens that's out. Once replaced, you discard this. Xyrian activations only happen when a token is drawn from the bag, a Xyrian token, or, of course, during the event phase. Right before the event card is drawn. Oh my goodness, hold my breath to be able to do all this. Here's what you do. First, you apply the top, then the bottom if applicable. So the Xyrians in rooms with characters will activate and do the terrible things that are listed here. Then other Xyrians that are not in a room with a character will likely be asked to move somewhere. It'll move toward the queen, maybe to take out the queen, or maybe toward a character. Nobody knows. Xyrians are all powerful and frightening, so they ignore doors. When they move, they ignore corridors. They just move wherever they like. They also ignore intruders. However, when there is an intruder in a corridor that they pass through, they are very stealthy, these guys. So what they do is they do a death blow to whatever the largest intruder in the room is. Boop, and they move into the next, of course, already explored room. Versus the queen. When they attack the queen, they apply hits just the same way that you do. And if they ever get to the death blow here and they flip over a card, you only resolve the top half, not the bottom half, which means they don't take damage. We already covered them versus corridors. That's right. When they move through a corridor, they always take out whatever the largest intruder is. When in a room, you are usually instructed to just deal a death blow, so you apply the result just like normal. Sometimes, when they're activated, they will attack you. Apply the injuries just as the card says. What about you versus them? How do you beat them? Well, a couple things. One, they like loud combat. That's right. So if you decide to attack them, you attack them just as you would a normal adult intruder. Put your little hit marker thing there. Roll your attack dice. See whether or not you were successful. But every time that you place a hit, even if it kills them, you have to make a noise roll and apply the result, which in that case would be terrible. Let's say that you do successfully kill them. Boop! Guess what? They are like reanimators, so they come back, except now they are injured. So you place the Xyrian injury token near them. Now you do the whole thing again, and if you manage to boop them this time, congratulations, they're actually gone. Remove them from the game and flip this over. So now there's an item in the room that you can pick up. In order to pick up this item, you need to discard 2 of your action cards to pick up the item, draw one of the 3, and see what you get. You're going to get a special type of armor that you slide under your player board just like all other armor. Sometimes you will be instructed to apply a status from a Xyrian. You can only be affected by one status at a time. These can be removed. The instructions for removal are on each card. If you're ever instructed to apply another status when you already have one, congratulations, you are seriously wounded instead. Isn't that great? And also, if you choose not to destroy one of the Xyrians, you can go to a room where it says available allegiance. That token will be there. You can go there. You can spend 1 action card in order to gain that available allegiance token. Now, flip this over to where it says gained allegiance, and these effects apply for the rest of the game for you. Once a character makes that allegiance, it is not available again for anybody for the rest of the game, right? So if this character dies, boop, the allegiance dies with them. These guys are very kind of sort of loyal, but they'll also kill you. It's confusing. And lastly, of course, the event cards. There are 3 of them. One of them is randomly drawn and mixed into the game. You might see it, you might not. But during the event phase, if you flip one of these over, it is going to have a persistent effect that is going to be active for the rest of the game. So you will apply this, and then it will tell you to draw another regular event card after. Get out of here. All right, some other prototype add-ons. New gear. I have, as you can spy, these lovely armor items that we can preview here. So these get to slide underneath your player board, and I believe these are they stretch goal add-ons? But anyway, they go under there like that. Actually, they start at the end. Boom, just like that. So your utility vest lets you carry 2 of these utility belt items of your choice, any two that you want. The auto loader gives you a lot more ammo. You get to treat the ammo as if it were on any of your weapons. Biohazard armor protects you from contamination. You can take 1 injury instead of a contamination card. You got tactical armor. Whenever you lose health as a result, I'd say health or injury, I'm not sure what to call it yet. When you lose health as a result of an intruder attack, lose 1 health less. Okay, that could be fun. Hopefully, if it's 2 or more, if it's only 1, that's a bummer. Heavy armor, very useful. Whenever you gain a serious wound, you may lose 2 health instead. What a party. Doctor, save me, I'm hurt. And then, of course, we've got our medical support character. This is an optional add-on. So we've got our medical support tile that goes into your character board. Boom, boom, boom. We've got the character draft card that you get to include with your lovely artwork there. Again, this is all a prototype. She comes with a carbine. Shoot, if you don't kill the intruder, deal 1 hit more, and it allows for 1 ammo slot. All right, that's her starting item. And then, of course, we have our miniature or your standee, whichever you have, and the little pink ring for them. And she comes with her 10 action cards. You can see some special ones, healing ones like first aid, combat drugs. What else is unique? Rest is a common card. Demolition is a common card. Repairs is a common card. Field surgery, we've got that right there. You can heal some serious wounds. Hippocratic Oath lets you do some damage if somebody's injured. Secure, that's common card. Chain of command is common, and search is common. Space Platypus. Space Platypus. This is the first player token. I believe this is either a stretch goal or an add-on. Maybe they're the same thing. I get so lost. What a cutie. Little tubbers there. Little fluffy belly. So fat. Are you ready to fire one of your crew members or teammates? That's okay, because here are 2 more replacements. The support squad expansion. Now we've got our support squad expansion, which comes with 2 characters, your sharpshooter and your UAV operator. Let's look at them one at a time. You've got your character draft card for the UAV operator. They've got their character figure, and I believe it's a yellow ring that they use. And they also come with their little drone, which actually has a little stand under it so it's floating as it goes around the board. Or you can move it with your mind. Tell me if you're successful with that. All right. They've got their card, of course, that goes on the player board. And then we've got their starting weapon, a smart rifle. Ranged weapon, heavy, shoot. If you are in a room with the UAV, this little drone buddy, you may re-roll the first roll. You must accept the second result. Not bad, little man. Let's see what the cards are. Okay, search, common. Exploration. You get to move the UAV up to 2 times or use it to explore an unexplored area. So that's pretty cool. Secure, that's common. Defense systems, you can move the UAV up to 2 times. That's in already explored areas. Or you can move to the same room as the UAV without making a noise roll and more. Cool. Demolition, that's common. Auto-destruct is very powerful. You can only do it once. So you can either use it to move up to 4 times and do that as many times as you want. But if you actually auto-destruct, you blow up lots of dudes in the rooms, in the corridors, but you lose your little UAV drone. Kind of sad, kind of cool. Rest, and my buddy actually basically won the game. He was able to complete his mission. This certainly helped. I think we found out it actually wasn't necessary by the time he finished, but whatever. It was a cool moment. Common card, pickup and delivery. Ooh, that depends on what room the drone is in. There's just a special effect based on where it is. Common card repairs, common card chain of command. All right, now our sharpshooter. We've got our art, character draft card. We've got our little figure. I don't think he gets the green base. That's just what I had. But there you go, your little miniature there. And then we've got our character item, sniper rifle, ranged weapon, heavy. It's a burst. Instead of a normal burst, you may deal 1 hit in an adjacent corridor without spending ammo. That is pretty powerful, and it holds an ammo spot there. That's the starting item. We've got his player board right there. And then let's see what he has. Taking aim. Now, I have not played as the sharpshooter. I played as all the others. Taking aim. Shooter burst. Reroll the first roll, except the second result. Cool. Common card secure. Common card search. Common card rest. Common card repairs. 1 by 1. As long as you have ammo in the sniper rifle, you may resolve this effect any number of times, deal 1 hit in an adjacent corridor, and roll a shoot die to check the following: ammo or death. Spend ammo from the... There's a lot going on there. All right. Hold position. If there are at least 2 secures in your room, draw 2 cards. Cool. So these guys are about strategy, careful movement, careful shot. Headshot. If you have a sniper rifle with ammo, discard 1 action card to deal a death blow to 1 intruder in a neighboring room. No one else can do that. That's quite unique. Demo. Common card. Chain of command. Common card. Do you like a good story? Are you loyal to your old friends? Cool. So that's what the Classic Crew expansion is. But I got to tell you, this is not needed if you already own Nemesis and Lockdown. You already have these figurines. So this is if you do not own one of those games or both of those games. All right, now something a little more complex, the Classic Characters expansion. Now, this is it. This is the cosmetic add-on. So this has no gameplay value. If you own Nemesis or Lockdown, then you do not need this because you already have the miniatures. However, if you don't have those 2 games and you want the miniatures from the earlier games, this is for you. So we've got again, this is prototype, but we've got our lovely box and our lovely miniatures from, and it looks like they're updated. So they're slightly different than the original game. Same characters, just updated. So we've got my favorite character in the whole series, the Captain. We've got the Scout, who's usually purple. Our Scientist, who's usually white, our Soldier, who's usually red, and our Pilot, who's usually green, and our little mechanic here is usually our yellow guy. Let's clear up this little graveyard. And then we've got the same with the Lockdown characters. Don't you love how beautifully I lay these out? Let's see if I remember you all. You are like I forget what you are. You're like the rogue guy. You sneak around. You're what are you, the captain? Yeah, that's like the captainish dude. I forget their names. But anyway, xenobiologist right there. And then we've got our soldier lady, lab rat. Yeah, that's the lab rat. And then we've got our survivor right here. And then we've got our janitor with his blowtorch right there. It is important at this point to point out, okay, so you want to play the game with those miniatures, those characters from the previous games. If I understand it correctly from what I read on the GameFound page, these items come with the base game. They come with Retaliation so that you can play with these previous characters. And here's how I understand it to work. I have not done it yet. Contractor is one of the main characters in Retaliation. And that's where you get to play as either this new contractor with their own 10-card deck right here, or you can do a contractor draft. And that means any of the survivors from the previous 2 games get to come into play, right? So you'd start with your contractor draft cards, and you can see each of the characters is here. Your Sentry from Lockdown, Hackers, and again, this is all prototype. I don't know if the art's complete. I'm not crazy about the fuzzy background, but maybe there's a reason for it. Pilot, Scout, those are from the original Nemesis, Lockdown, Lab Rat, Survivor from Lockdown, Xeno from Lockdown, my dude, the Captain from Nemesis, the Scientist, and the Soldier from Nemesis. So you're going to draft one of those. If you pick, all right, I'm going to play as the contractor, then you draft again for one of these, and boom, all right, I got the Pilot. So I'm going to go through here, and you've got 2 sides so that every character has their own tile. There we go. So we're going to have our Pilot. Now, if you only own Retaliation, you would just use your contractor, standee, or miniature. If you own the previous 2 games, or you get the expansion that we just looked at with the miniatures, you can use the miniature for that. Then you're going to pick, of course, your starting item for that character. In this case, the Pilot gets 2. And they are different than they had in the base game. So this is what we have for our Pilot. Then we're going to have our 5 contractor special cards just for that contractor. So I'm assuming, I didn't see it in the rules, but I'm assuming that these get blended with the 5 common cards in your contractor deck. So you'll have a total of 10 cards. And these are updated for Retaliation, so they would not be exactly the same as what you had in the previous games. And that's how you play with contractors in Retaliation. And the acrylic tokens for Nemesis, the OG, which I think means original, right? I've tried to figure this out for years now, and I'm just saying whatever. It means original from what old game. Old guy. I don't know. Is it gangster? The original gangster? I think it's original game. I've only heard it in reference to games. And lastly, I want to share with you the acrylic tokens. This one right here, these are the acrylic tokens upgrade for Nemesis Lockdown. And I believe these are available still as an add-on. So you've got the knowledge tokens right here. You can see they are acrylic. They are exactly what they look like. I really can't describe them differently. And you've got your power token, your hazard, auto-destruct, and your alarm token. And then we've got the Chytrid, the Chytrid expansion. That's right, the deadly mold that goes around. All the little bag development acrylic tokens there. And the acrylic tokens for Nemesis Lockdown, just for the base game bag development tokens. And these are the normal size. The Chytrid ones are just slightly smaller, so you can differentiate. And next would be the Nemesis acrylic tokens. So our bag development tokens right here. You can see the symbols and the numbers. And who doesn't like a good corpse token? Why not? So the Intruder corpse tokens, same on both sides. And then the Void Seeders tokens. We've got our little madness baubles right here. There you go. One for each character to go crazy. Love it. And the Void Seeder. I believe Void Seeder. Is it Carnomorph? Void Seeder? Is it both? I don't remember. Bag development tokens, slightly smaller size than the base game bag development tokens. Are there more acrylic tokens involved in these add-ons expansions? I don't know. These are the prototypes I was sent. All right. So, do you need any of these expansions to fully enjoy the Nemesis Retaliation experience? Absolutely not. If you're on a budget or you're not a hardcore fan or something like that, go for the standee $65, something like that version of Nemesis Retaliation. You're going to have the time of your life and you're not missing out on a thing. But if you're a fan or you like some of the themes of what you've seen here, Neoflesh Cult is definitely hard mode from what I've played. It ramps up the challenge level, I think, significantly. I can see beating it, I obviously have not. But with that challenge level, I gotta say, it is also very exciting. I like the 4 different types of adults, but yeah, this is definitely hard mode. If I had to pick between Neoflesh and the Xyrians, I'd probably pick Xyrians just because I like that thematically, and I actually like that kind of crazy swing of what's gonna happen. The whole world could change in a moment, or not, but it complicates an already complicated game. I can see using the Xyrians against the Intruders. Against the Neoflesh, I think is complete. I don't think they need the Xyrians in there, personally. I think you have enough going on. Maybe they'll help you. Decide for yourself. The medical support. See, I thought that would be my favorite thing because the medic, I really like the medic character from expansions of, what was it, from Nemesis. I believe it was one of the add-ons for that, or expansions. I'm not too sure. But I love that medic because you were running around as a healer. How cool is that? This medical support is different. This is like a combat healer. So they do damage. They can do a lot of damage and also do some healing. Thematically, that fits this game. This is more of a high-action, high-damage game. UAV is probably, I think, the most useful of the additional characters. Even though you may only use the UAV 3 or 4 times in a game, its expansion of your options is quite helpful. Haven't played as the sharpshooter yet. Doesn't interest me thematically, but I'll still give it a shot if I ever randomly draw it, which I haven't. I'm tired of talking, but I love you all. I would like to hear from you. So please, the comments is the most interesting part in this for me. So let me know if there's anything that wasn't clear, if you have questions, if there's something that you enjoyed that you want to see more of. Talk to me, please. They don't let me leave this room. I don't have long. They locked me in this room. They haven't let me out in 3 weeks. They only bring in meals on Tuesdays.